So let's get right back at it with some exponential functions. To understand exponential functions, we must first understand the laws of exponents. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll through some of these exponential laws. I'm just going to use some numbers to show what's going on here and hopefully clear them up a little bit. But you've learned these in previous courses, so we're not going to spend too much time on them. Starting off, my exponent laws. Now, if you look at them, one thing that I really want to state clearly is a lot of these require that we have the same base of the exponent. So when you see that a right here, we can't switch up that number. It would have to be the same number, otherwise these exponent laws don't apply. Starting off, a to the power m times a to the power n equals a to the power m plus n. So if I have 2 to the power 3, and I'm going to multiply that by 2 to the power 2, well, this would say that it would equal 2 to the power 3 plus 2, which would equal 2 to the power 5. Now, if I look at this, 2 to the power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 to the power 2 is 2 times 2. So if we count that up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or rather, I would have 2 to the power 5. In my next case, a to the power m over a to the power n equals a to the power m minus n. So if I had 2 to the power 3 and I divided that by 2 to the power 2, this would equal 2 to the power 3 minus 2, which would equal 2 to the power 1. Well, looking at that, I'd have 2 times 2 times 2. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. That came out kind of weird. I have 2 times 2 times 2 all over 2 times 2. Now, pulling out my magenta pen of cancellation, that cancels and that cancels, which would leave me with that 2 to the power 1. A to the negative m equals 1 over a to the power m. When we see the negative in the power means that we reciprocate. Or I'm going to take it from the top, put it on the bottom, or take it from the bottom and put it on the top. So if I had 2 to the power negative 3, that would simply equal 1 over 2 to the power 3. Very important, that does not mean inverse. In this case, when it's a numerical exponent, it means that we're just going to reciprocate. A to the power m over n equals n root a to the power m. Well, my m is going to represent the power, and my n is going to represent the index on the root, or the root. So if I had something like 2 to the power 3 over 5, well, my 5 would go in as the index on the root right there, and then that would be 2 to the power 3. Very importantly, it doesn't actually matter the order that we write that in. So I could take the fifth root and cube it, or I could take the fifth root of the number cubed. Either one would work. Continuing on, a to the power m to the power n. If I had 2 to the power 3, all to the power 2, well, this would state a power to a power means I multiply, so it would equal 2 to the power 6. Just evidencing this one, 2 to the power 3 would be 2 times 2 times 2, and then squared would mean that I multiply it by itself, and we can see right here that ends up giving me 6 2's, or that gives me 2 to the power 6. The next one, if I have something multiplied by something else, now here you'll notice that I do not have to have the same base. So if I had, for example, 2 multiplied by 3 all to the power 4, well, that 4 could go on to each of these individually. So that would be 2 to the power 4 times 3 to the power 4. Very importantly, this only works when we have a multiply, or as we'll see in the next one, a divide. 2 plus 3 to the power 4 does not equal 2 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 4. So I'm going to really evidence this by taking that red and going, no, bad. Continuing on, this kind of comes from the previous one. 2 over 3 to the power 4. We again can just distribute the power 4, so I get 2 to the power 4 all over 3 to the power 4. And finally, again, we have that negative sign, but the negative sign is over something that's more rational or fractional. So once we get rid of the negative sign, we just flip the values. If I had 3 over 4 to the power negative 2, this would equal 4 over 3 to the power 2. I got rid of the negative sign and I reciprocated the fraction that was on the inside. And again, if I wanted to take this one step further, it would be 4 squared all over 3 squared. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed.